Welcome back. Former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani isn't officially running for president, but according to a few polls, he is the front runner. He's leading the pack of possible GOP candidates ahead of even presumed front runner Mitt Romney. So if Rudy gets into the mix, what would that mean for other possible candidates? Mike Needham was promoted a moment ago in our tease, but he is policy advisor for the 2008 Giuliani presidential campaign. Good morning to you, Mike. You're now with the Heritage Foundation, which you mentioned that as well. All right, gut feeling. I know you've talked with several folks that you worked with during 2008. Do you think he's going to run?
Well, we'll see. That's a decision for him to make. One thing you know about Rudy Giuliani...
Is he leaning that way?
I have no idea. That's for him. But one thing you know about Rudy is he learns from experiences. If he runs this time, he will learn a lot about what happened 4 years ago. Look at what he did in New York with CompStat, the way he got crime under control. Going into every single precinct, figuring out what's working well, what's not working well, and what lessons can we learn. That's what he's going to do for the 2008 campaign that he had if he decides that he's going to run this time.
Do you get a sense that he wanted to run before all of these polls started showing him as a presumed front runner, or are the polls the reason that he's considering getting in?
You know, I think what Rudy has said is somebody needs to take on Barack Obama. Barack Obama has taken this country in a vast left-wing direction the last 2.5 years. Somebody needs to go beat him. If that's Rudy, I think Rudy's amenable to doing that. If it's somebody else, we have a bunch of other conservatives.
But do you get a sense that it's the polls that's actually
you know,
the
Rudy's
motivating
never been
factor?
Rudy's never been a poll-driven guy. He was never a poll-driven guy when he was mayor. He wasn't a poll-driven guy 4 years ago. I think this is about taking on a left-wing president. We have to get rid of this guy. And if Rudy's the guy to do it, then I think he's amenable to making that decision.
All right, you mentioned 2008, and to call it a disappointing performance would be an understatement. He essentially waded to Florida. That was a spectacular failure. What would he do differently in terms of campaigning and learning from that?
Well, I think we've seen Rudy spend a lot of time in New Hampshire. New Hampshire's a fiscally conservative state. When you look at the mood of the country right now, people understand that we're at a tipping point. Barack Obama's spending policies have really put us in a dangerous situation as a country. I think Rudy would go up to New Hampshire, talk about fiscal constraint, talk about the fact that he cut taxes 23 times as mayor of New York, see what happens in New Hampshire, and take it from there.
He is going to make his second appearance there in New Hampshire. If, in fact, someone like Rudy gets in, does it change the game for someone like a Sarah Palin, or especially for maybe a Huntsman or a Tim Pawlenty who don't have the name recognition? Would someone like Rudy change all of that?
Well, look, Rudy Giuliani is one of the superstars of the Republican Party right now. Sarah Palin is another superstar. We have some good conservatives in the race right now. Sarah Palin's probably done as much as anybody in the last couple of years to highlight conservative principles against the Washington establishment. Rudy Giuliani was called one of the most successful episodes of conservative governance when he was mayor of New York. So we're going to have two high-powered conservatives coming in here. It'll be a great opportunity to spend the next year talking about conservative solutions as the antidote to what we've had for the last 2.5 years in Washington.
A lot of buzz about the man. All right, Mike Needham, he was the policy advisor for the 2008 campaign. He now runs Heritage Action for the Heritage Foundation. Thanks for being here, sir.
Great to be here.
Appreciate it.